All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Big episode today. We're going to get into what happened in the first week in the NFL season. We're going to talk about Alcaraz and his first major win. We're going to do some Q&A. Play of the week is back. But first, we're going to start with what's on your mind. Normally, I would pass it off to one of you two, but I think we've got to start with myself this week. Just really a lot on my mind. First and foremost, just absolute embarrassment from anything involving me in the NFL this weekend. Just absolutely hate to see it. First and foremost, Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins look like they're probably top 5 in MVP voting this week. Just absolutely crushed.
You hate to see it.
Just hate to see that. Tua, I'm still just not ever going to say he's good. Just not getting behind that. But Kirk Cousins,
he kind of can't really throw.
Yeah, not really. But Kirk Cousins and
couple guys can't throw in the NFL.
Jalen Hurts look good. They look really good.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins, man, I saw somebody put in that tweet that my man goes to the podium looking like someone said he's got like a lot of Kohl's cash, just looking like he walked out of Kohl's, but just dominates. I mean, they smacked the Packers. And then Lou just, absolutely dominated my fantasy team. Has A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman Jr., and Jalen Hurts. Just 1-2 combo there with Hurts and, A.J. Brown.
Stack.
Yeah,
stack.
just not an ideal start. And long season ahead, for sure. I mean, Patriots look abysmal, just terrible. Mac Jones is not the answer. But I've been open about that for a while. I don't believe Mac Jones is good. He's not good. It's a tough week to be CC2 in the NFL world for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to, move on to another sport, maybe start watching golf or tennis or NASCAR.
Pick another NFL team.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Kirk Cousins.
Your boy Joey Burrow.
Yikes, not good. 3 interceptions in 1/2 out here looking like Peterman. Dang. Tough week to be Ryan in CC2 world, but Ty, Lou, one of you guys want to go?
Credit to you, Ty, for to you, Rye, for Tell the Truth Tuesday. Little Coach O, tell the truth, put yourself on a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Just like talk a lot of smack.
Respect.
Credit to you for that for sure. I would say where I'm at right now is I am finally reminded of what it's like to be a sports fan because the Jets are back, and I hate everything. And nothing matters. And I can't believe I got sucked in again by the Jets. So what I'm going to do with that information now, try to recalibrate my brain a little bit and see if I can have some fun the rest of the football season because the Jets are bad. They're going to be bad the rest of this year. If you can live bet the under win total, I would recommend doing that. And best of luck to everyone involved. That's where my head's at.
Jay, we got to pull up the clip. We asked Lou this a few weeks ago. Hey, Lou, 7 wins. Easy. I mean, every year, my man Lou, Lou, how many Jets going to win 8 games? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just
man, I can't help it with that.
Oh, I mean, just dominant. And then
sorry, I can't find those. That's right, Jay.
First weekend, just writing it off. I'm right there with you at least. But shout out to Jay for putting in comments. I'm always, can't find those. Clips don't exist. Just it's weird that these Jets fans don't have those clips that just, seem to show up on social. But the ones about the Patriots stinking, Kirk Cousins being good, Jalen Hurts.
Kirk was the worst take of all time. So, that's just what we got to say.
Do you think it was which was a worse take? Kirk Cousins being bad or Michael Porter Jr. being good?
Kirk Cousins being bad.
It's pretty close.
It's not even close. You call the borderline MVP bad. I call the prospect, a 5-star prospect that has a max contract, good.
You said that was one of the best deals they could have got for a max contract.
He's got a lot of time left. You literally took a
lot of team control.
You literally took a top-tier NFL quarterback and said he was very poor. And then he came out and threw a pretty good game. If that's a term we're going to use in football.
Come on, Ty.
Jay? Oh, is it my turn now?
Yeah, Ty, it's your turn. Here we go.
Opening Thursday Night Football was Rams.
Bills.
Josh Allen looks really good.
Really good.
I enjoyed it because sneaky, as they do the starting lineups, you know how that's always a thing that from here. On both teams, There was a Penn State starter on offense and defense. That was cool. That matters, recruiting. Say, back in action. Was fun to see my man scamper down the sideline.
That's the real highlight of the weekend.
He might be a problem.
Dominant.
It might be a problem. He's super back, and he looks fast. Jonathan Taylor helped me down. I played in the Ryder Cup this past weekend.
What do you mean you played in the Ryder Cup?
I played in the Ryder Cup at the club.
What does that mean?
I had a little Ryder Cup 2-day tournament.
Uh-huh.
Got pretty serious. 3 9-hole matches on Saturday, 18-hole match on Sunday. Action, little Sunday rain. Came in second by 1 point. Speaking of action on Saquon cards, the Queen of England, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, passed this past week. And I was just doing a little look. Definitely some action on some Queen Elizabeth PSA slabs happening on eBay. Just throwing that one out there. Yeah, I'm addicted to golf. Liv just snapped up the leading, the top college golfer.
Liv did?
Liv did. Liv Tour just sniped I think one of the top 3 college golfers to join their tour. Hockey's coming back. Penn State football 2-0. Auburn. Who's Ohio State have this weekend?
Toledo at home, 7:30.
You going?
Mm-hmm.
They'll dominate that. We have Auburn.
Game.
This kid left college.
We have Wisconsin next week, Ty, at night.
Ooh. And then I got a wedding this weekend that I'm pretty excited about down in Rock Hall, Maryland. Lou, going down to Bandini's wedding.
Really?
Yep. And then last but not least, Carlos Alcaraz, 19-year-old, number 1 tennis player in the world. Just won the U.S. Open.
Ty, you have a lot of crazy takes. Like, some of your takes are so outlandish, they make mine look like normal, and some of mine are crazy. But I will give you an immense amount of credit for Carlos Alcaraz, because Lou and I sat here months ago, and you're like, yeah, golf is back. This Alcaraz kid's a big deal. And Lou and I looked at you like, we've never heard of this dude. Like, we hadn't heard of that guy. He's good. He's electric. He's like, I'm not like sitting there watching tennis every weekend. Like, it's never going to happen. But that kid's really good.
That kid's serious.
What do we think about your transaction history on Carlos?
Not just a classic example of years. The same classic example.
Like, hey, trust your instinct and don't trust your instinct kind of thing, or?
Yep. Tough. Saquon. Remember the Saquon blue Prizm I wanted to buy? Didn't execute on that one.
Yep, that's right.
Just like, got it. But, I sold a bunch of Ethereum yesterday. Buy the rumor, sell the news. The merge is coming in the next 2 days. So
what's that?
There's a big technological upgrade coming to the Ethereum network, is the 411 of that. And it's about to happen in the next 2 days. So I sold ahead of it because, that's kind of what happens ahead of big things. And then it happens. And then it's like, it's like the post-championship dip. It's like the post-chip dip. Gets priced in early. They win.
Everything gets hyped up to the win. And then when they win, it's like, okay, maybe it's
now they got to win again.
Yeah.
So went with that move. So now I got a little dry powder and I make a play or two.
It is kind of wild to me that you were as big of a Carlos Alcaraz guy as early as you were, and you had a major opportunity. You knew the NetPro thing was coming. You were early on that. It happens. They make cards, even relatively affordable ones. You're in on it, and then you don't buy a single Carlos Alcaraz card. That's wild to me.
Right. There's 2 things to that. Yes, you're right. So there's 3 things. First, you're right. Second, I think there's just as much joy, as getting it right as the financial gain of that. And then third, I'm like 98% allocated into high risk assets from a portfolio. So like another $2,000 on an Alcaraz card. Like, it's just.
That's a great way to put it. 98% allocated to high risk assets is like, that should be the name of that. Like, that's going to go on my tombstone.
So, I cleaned up on them on some nice US Open futures. I wish I had the card on my desk.
Did you put a future on it?
Yeah, I had some nice futures on it.
That's cool.
Well. What was he before the tournament? Do you know? I mean,
plus like 600, I believe it was.
That's all day.
Yeah.
And also another shout out to Ty, man. A lot of Ty propaganda, bringing back the old school days here. Ty, I think there's 2 Penn State players right now, favorites in Vegas to win NFL awards. Comeback Player of the Year, which you correctly predicted would be Saquon Barkley. I mean, it's almost only week 1, right? This is Monday morning overreaction here on a Tuesday.
Yep.
But Jahan Dotson is currently the betting odds favorite in Vegas to win Rookie of the Year out there with Carson Wentz in Washington. George Pickens did absolutely nothing. Kenny Pickett hasn't played. Damian Pierce didn't do much. Jahan Dotson with a touchdown in his first game is currently. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout out to Jay for mentioning Allen Robinson, 1 catch, not Super Bowl MVP type guy, and the Rams lost.
It wasn't a great first game for the Rams. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The mojo was off. There was maybe a hair of sneaky, like, nerve damage in the elbow for Stafford. Maybe like
more concerning than not concerning.
More concerning than no concern.
Yeah, sure.
It's something you have to think about.
It's there. It lingers. Might be a mental thing, but it's definitely lingering.
So,
and Jahan Dotson, what I'll say about him after watching him for 2 years, electric. Absolutely electric. Speed, can be a top guy. A little small, needs to put on some juice, but his hands are next level. And I think he's probably under the radar because also like the Commanders in general as a franchise is under the radar and no one wants to talk about them in any way. And you don't really know what's going to happen with Wentz. Hurts did look very, very good this weekend, I got to say.
So real quick,
he looks like he got big.
Real quick, because I want to like transition this into a segment.
Okay.
NFL week 1, right?
Yep.
Tons of overreactions. You can see it in the card market already. Major dips in certain cards.
What's the ones you've seen, Burrow?
That's what I'm going to ask you. At this point, who are you most concerned about for their cards after week 1, and who are you most optimistic about after week 1? So I'll start with most pessimistic, right? Who am I most concerned about? And it's definitely Mac Jones. For sure. He was one of the hottest 2 or 3 guys in the entire class. At one point, he was the hottest. Then the T-Law and Trey Lance stuff kicked in. I don't think the Patriots are very good. This is one of their worst teams in recent memory. You don't have Tom Brady to make some of these no-name wide receivers names. Like Devonta Parker isn't what he was, right, 3-4 years ago. So I don't, Mac's got that back injury. Patriots aren't going to be very good. There's QBs next year. I think Mac Jones is probably the guy I'm the most concerned with after watching week 1. Dak is another one because he's going to be out and didn't look good, but I don't know if his stuff was $10,000+ for an NT RPA.
I'm looking at it right now.
Like Mac Jones might have been.
Couple things. Number one, I'm looking up like random stuff, not necessarily like NT. We can do that separately. Saquon, August 31st, a raw Prizm auto sold for $98.55. This morning, a raw auto sold for $180. So that's how quickly it changes based on when guys come back and there's exciting things that are happening.
They say.
Dak hasn't seen as much of a drop off yet. I think it's still early. Like we'll see when the auctions start ending. But like pre week 1, it was like a $350 to $400 card. Last one did $300 yesterday. So there's some movement there. The other thing I want to point out is Trey Lance has to be the most. Like I'm very pessimistic about Trey Lance.
You're pessimistic about Trey?
Yeah, the game was tough, right? Like it was.
Yeah, that's my only reason why I would say Mac isn't, is the conditions weren't as like awful. Like it poured in Chicago. There's nothing they could do. Like again, I don't think he looks amazing. I'm not here to say Trey Lance is amazing, like at all.
Yeah, I'm
concerned. It just the weather. Put him in a nice game and let's see what happens. I'm at least willing to give him another shot. Man, Mac, I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who was paying attention knew that the Patriots were the worst team in the NFL going into the season. So no, I'm being serious. So like, if you were making plays on Mac Jones, like you either were trying to be a contrarian or you just were missing the boat on that all that information.
I agree with that. I would agree with that. Geno kind of looked nice last night.
Oh wait. The other thing I want to say is in the world where like running backs and all that stuff, DeAndre Swift had an amazing game on Sunday and is someone to look out for. I will look up his stuff when Tyler starts talking, but he's a guy that everyone was super excited about coming into the season, came in week 1 against a Super Bowl contender in the world of Vegas, right? And had like 150 all-purpose yards, something like he was all over the field. So DeAndre Swift's another guy to look out for as well.
Optimistic, Patrick Mahomes.
We do this every year. Like, oh man, they lose a lot.
Every year,
They lost a lot.
Mahomes and Steph Curry just bury us
just
year
every year.
over year.
This is like a tale as old as time with Card Talk.
I don't know
Mahomes,
how
like,
we do it every time.
Man,
Every
is
time.
this the Chargers year? And you're like, Patrick Mahomes out here throwing 5 touchdowns. And you're just like, this dude's God, unbelievable.
30 of 39, 360 yards, 5 tutties, no picks.
Like, pick them apart in the first half.
You know
It was
who
like, oh,
did,
CH, oh, Juju, oh.
You know who did look a little better than you guys would have probably given credit for, that like I was a little bit more optimistic on?
Who's that?
T-Law.
Yeah.
He didn't look that bad. Like, he looks like he's talented. Like, he has potential. Like, he's a good QB.
I was gonna mention, but
I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes yet.
My pessimistic is as much as it pains me to say, because I want to see him be great, I'm pessimistic about Joey Burrow.
Really?
Yeah, the reason being is because, look, we know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl, and that was a one-off run. That might be their Ravens run they didn't win it. And he might be more Joe Flacco than not, just because it's so hard. Once you win it once, you got that for life. And before last year, not many people, no one was hot on the Bengals. Like, we weren't the Bengals or this new upstart team. And Eli got hot twice. You know, Eli did 2 of those Burrow runs over a career and maybe still isn't Hall of Fame. And that may be where Burrow's going in a classic overreaction to 3 picks. I mean, it could be a grind for him.
Flacco's postseason run was one of the best ever.
Something's happening. Sorry. Keep going.
Flacco's postseason run was one of the best ever. That was an absolutely dominant run. I'm not sure. There's a lot of talent on that team. The offensive line improved. They have the best receiving core in football. I mean, T. Higgins.
Is Boyd hurt?
No, Higgins.
T. Higgins had a concussion, yeah.
Yeah, so if Higgins isn't healthy, that's a different story. But that receiving core is something else. They also got a top 10 running back and Mixon. Like, there's a lot of potential on that team. I'm not saying there's not reason for concern.
The market treated him like he was Mahomes last year, and like Mahomes was him. And Mahomes.
And I think about that a lot. Like, if Josh Allen gets the ball in overtime and scores, are the Bengals going to Buffalo and beating Buffalo? They beat the Chiefs, right? So it's like it's hard to say, but I'm like, yeah.
So that's my optimistic.
He was there. Like, we'll see.
Yep, agreed.
We talked about this in the start of the season, though. The AFC is loaded. Loaded. Look at that division. They just lost to the Steelers. They also have the Ravens, right? The Browns are going to get Deshaun Watson later in the year. Like, the Browns have an awesome team on paper. I mean, just talent-wise. Yeah, I mean, that's not even including the Chargers, the Bills, the Chiefs. Like, there's
it's week 1 was nice. Monday Night Football was nice. I actually enjoyed Monday Night Football last night.
I'm already excited for week 2.
I agree. I can't believe they fumbled twice down the stretch. Choke artists.
Yeah.
The Broncos are going to be really awesome when they get settled in. It was very clear that Russell was like not in a good headspace during the game. Like, he was definitely pretty jumpy and missing a lot of throws. Once they settle in, between Sutton, Judy, Alberto, Javonte, Melvin Gordon, like, they got a bunch of guys. They're gonna be a really good team.
I honestly, they didn't win, but like, I don't mind the Raiders either. Like,
I like the Raiders a lot.
Derek Carr's a good QB.
Was getting fed.
Like,
I cashed my Judy over yards wager.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm ready for week 2. I'm fired up. We're in NFL. I mean, when you have college football on Wednesdays, isn't the MAC on Wednesdays?
I think that starts in a few weeks.
Yeah, but you're going to have the MAC Wednesdays. You're going to have NFL football on Thursdays. You have Saturday for college football, Sunday for NFL football, Monday for football. You're going to basically have football 5-6 days a week. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. It's fall time. It's
my favorite time of the year.
You know, I'm thrilled. Couldn't be more juiced. I do want to ask, Ty, I know you had kind of gained some interest. Lou, you and I have been in it for a little while. Thoughts on the current F1 situation with Max running away with it? He can win this week in Singapore? Is that where they are this week?
Yep.
I think they're in Singapore this week. But Max can win the title this week. all-time record for race wins in a season, I believe, is Schumacher with 13. I think he might be tied, but I think it's 13. And Max has 11, and there's 6 races to go. He's 14th win, 10th win, 7th win. He's unstoppable at this point. Has a little asterisk next to his title after they gave him the race last year. Then don't implement the same rules again in last week's race. I'm like, wild times. But I just want to get your thoughts on current situation in F1. Are you enjoying it? What's kind of going through your head?
It reminds me of like some of those NBA seasons that were just kind of like playoffs clean through, boring teams.
Like Cavs Warriors.
He's the best.
Cavs Warriors Volume 4.
Yeah, he's the best. And I think that their team obviously has used everything to their advantage to kind of pull ahead in this lead. I think Porsche has fumbled the bag in some capacity. Ferrari, not Porsche. I'm thinking about Porsche because where my head is going is that I think that over the next 2-3 years, we're going to see a lot more things implemented to not allow a repeat of this year, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is from spending caps, F1 is going to want new winners. Like this isn't sustainable for the business that they've kind of grown themselves into. A lot of what we were talking about before the show, in terms of just like valuations and ad spends and everything and all that's surrounded the races and whatnot. The dominance in sport is beautiful. Michael Jordan won 6 championships in 7 years or something like that. 8 years is beautiful, but they're going to keep putting pressure on making it a more even playing field. And we're going to see a lot of new faces of race car talent. You see, I think, a lot more turnover in terms of drivers. If they're not performing, keep it moving, and try and find the guy that becomes fanfared and loved and all that, as well as a good racer. That's my take. But I think in the history of the sport, there's been many, 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 many boring slog seasons where one car is just the fastest and this driver is just the best and dialed in and everything's rocking and rolling. And heck, the Patriots were 19-0 until David Tyree caught the ball.
Yeah, just to react to a couple of things Tyler said, he's 100% right across the board. I think F1 has proven itself to be an entertainment product and not necessarily a sporting product, meaning that they will do things to make their television product and their live event product as entertaining as possible. So I would expect some more changes that are going to prevent someone from winning 3, 4, 5, 6 races in a row in a single season.
You're running away with it.
Yeah, I think they want to prevent that for sure. And I also think the Oscar Piastri situation, the whole thing that went down with Danny, I know you don't love him, but like the way that went down with those 2 drivers, I think is very informative for how it will be going down in the future, where they've always been competing for drivers, right? The teams, but I think it's going to get pretty intense. And in a world where Nicholas Latifi has less points this season. He has the 22nd most points this season.
21st, yeah.
DeVries, he has less points than there are drivers. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because that Nick DeVries came in, DeVries, and won 9th this year and pushed Latifi down to 21st in points in a 20-driver elite.
Right, exactly. It's that's going to keep happening. So I would keep an eye on that. As far as this season goes, it's definitely pretty over. It seems like I would expect Max to wrap it up this weekend. That's kind of just how it's been going.
Over.
So, I'm excited as a person who hasn't paid as much attention this season, like I was talking about last week. Doesn't mean I'm less excited for Drive to Survive coming out. I actually probably am more excited because there's less. I know less that's been going on. So I'll be ready to go again next February.
Yeah, I'm actually the opposite of that, Lou. I think
whenever.
It's funny because we both were interested at the same time. My interest has definitely gone the other way. I'm more interested in it now. I haven't missed a race all season. Super excited about it. I've actually been picking up more and more F1 as prices have dipped closer to, when I first got in about a year ago. I think my first pickup was like October last year when I picked up a Charles Dynasty. I mean, I've picked up some big pieces. I bought a nice George the other day. I picked up, finally got a Pierre Gasly.
I saw those.
I haven't posted those yet. But I picked up K-Mag. I picked up Signs.
Who did you just post? You just posted 2.
K-Mag and Signs were my last 2.
Oh.
I bought some auctions the other day that I haven't got in yet.
Dak is actually less hurt than they think.
Breaking news live on Card Talk.
They think he'll be back in the next 4 games.
Interesting.
That's good.
I saw
breaking news 1 day later for everyone listening.
But regardless, I was. Have you picked anything up recently? Either of you picked up any cards?
No, I'm actually in process. I was actually going to talk about it once I get it out there and everything like that, but I'm in process of doing my first ever big auction, like I was telling you guys about. So that's where my focus has been right now. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of like trying to mentally wrap my head around all that before I buy.
Have you made a decision?
I'm selling it, yeah.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, I am auctioning it.
Very
it's
cool.
a max card. The gold max that I got at a trade night a while back, I will be auctioning through PWCC.
Very cool. Ty, what you guys say something?
I just bought that.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Which isn't a card, but is a piece of art.
All right, let's get into some of the Q&A. I know Jay said we've got some this week. I think Jay sent them to us in chat, not in text. So we've got a question.
Before we go into that, Rye?
Yes.
Columbus?
Mm-hmm.
Trade night?
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
By the time this comes out, you'll be about 16 days.
Or 9 days, according to your original story.
Shout out to Jay for catching that. But yeah, 16 days, 6 to 10 p.m. at the shop. Ty and Lou and Jay will be live in the flesh from Columbus, hanging out at the shop. We'll have tents outside. We did this last time. We had trade night. Had a couple massive tents outside that hold about 140 people with seats. Have a food truck coming, right? When you guys come to Columbus, I've been very open about this, about getting, showing you guys a couple of my favorite spots in the city to eat, like good food. There's a place down south, like west, that when you're going to like Indy, it's worth a stop. It's about 45 minutes from the shop. It's called Rudy's Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And we stop there every time we go to like Shipshawana for a show or Indy for the Midwest Monster. Every time we go out to Indy, we stop at this place. And it is 10 out of 10 good. Well, they have a food truck. And we called and we're like, hey, can we get to food truck? Would you guys be willing to drive this far? And they're like, yes, absolutely. The minimum was super cheap. And it's like it's my favorite barbecue food I've ever had. It's my favorite. It's very, very good. And they're coming and I'm excited to have them at trade nights. We're going to have, y'all there hanging out, wheeling and dealing.
I'm bringing cards. And you asked me about buying cards. That's what put it on my mind because I'm going to be buying.
Bringing cards to trade night, wheeling and dealing.
I need some soccer cards.
What about that chicken place?
Hot Chicken Takeover?
Yeah, your spot.
Yeah, we'll go there for sure. That's probably a Thursday type move.
Hell yeah.
So we got Thursday night. We're playing a little round at golf on Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, I still got to book that, but we'll find a place. I got you.
Let's find a spot. I'm going to tweet where should we play golf in Columbus. And then we're going to work the shop a little bit.
Maybe a little hour and a half in shop. Just
you don't want to see it too crazy?
Yeah, I don't want to get a little too crazy, right? You want to, looking for some 5 stars. Looking for some 5 stars. I don't want to get exhausted here and, customer service start to slack.
Super fair. And then Saturday, Jay, this is where I really need you. We got to do proper tailgate.
I can make that happen if that's what you want to do.
It's college football. I'm trying to see the tailgate vibe.
Can I wear Rutgers stuff or am I going to get in trouble?
No, you can wear whatever you want.
Right,
just don't wear Michigan. As long as you don't wear Michigan, I'm good. You wear that, we can't do that.
I would never wear any Michigan stuff. I wear Georgia stuff, maybe.
That's fine. I can get behind that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want it's fall. It's going to be fall in Ohio. I want to see a little foliage. I want to throw a football in the parking lot. I want a hot coffee.
Maybe wake up and do a little, Saturday morning, farmer's market right outside the shop and downtown Grove City.
Jay, one or the other, but let's get some content out. Who's throwing a big tailgate in Ohio State?
What's the
Can
vibe?
We join? Can we pull up? Hit me on Venmo.
Venmo?
Yeah, I'll pay. Someone
is
James. Out there throwing a proper tailgate. What do you need us to bring? Box of donuts? What's up?
I mean, 3:30 game. What time do you want to start tailgating?
6 a.m.
Yeah, 8:30, 9.
I mean, 7 hours for a tailgate. Holy cow!
It's
How
college
long do you guys
football. It's the
tailgate in
Big
Ohio?
Ten. Like, what else
Yeah.
did they do on a Saturday in Columbus before Ohio State game?
Shots fired.
Play 9. I mean, get 9
Oh, you
in.
want to go 18 and then 9 the next day?
I mean, I would. Then I
I'm
get to
not
the.
opposed to a quick 9, but then we're at the tailgate at 11.
That's great. That's perfect. Less time there, more time on the round. I mean, fresh lunch.
Fresh tailgate lunch.
Yeah.
I need a
I do love
3-on-3
tailgate
with some young Ohio State fans. I need a steady QB game. It's cold. Exactly.
little hoodie
Oh,
season.
yeah,
Football
hoodie
parking
season.
lot. You know,
Need it bad. Couple beverages.
absolutely not, Jay.
All
All
right.
right. Let's
on
get
to
into
it.
some Q&A. Hopefully everybody listening will be at trade night in Columbus in a few weeks.
Every single person listening has to be there, or you're suspended for one
We
episode.
need you. We need you.
September 30th. This is a fantastic question. Shout out to Dustin for the question. Will we see an upswing in prices after Geno Smith's Pro Bowl caliber performance?
No.
No, but there should be. But no.
I think it's more of a 6-0 start where you start to get buzz, or maybe a 3-0 start. Yes,
Or
it was
five touchdowns.
the reality of the situation is the Broncos win that game 99 out of 100 times.
Yeah.
So, like, if they're 0-1, the prices aren't reacting. And if you watch the game, you would be reacting. And if you watch a game, you know that they got stopped on the 1-yard line twice. And 99 out of 100 times they win that game. Geno started off great. He was in control the whole time. They were calling a simple game. Broncos win that game 99 out of 100. If he goes 3-0, 4-0, you start the chatter. You get involved. For now, chalk it up for a nice Monday night opening season W. They wrote him off. He didn't write back.
It's a great line.
Yeah, I mean, Jay makes a good point. People paying $21K for Davis Mills. There's $1.8 million for Justin Herbert. Like, QBs matter. If Geno Smith goes 2-3-0 and throws a couple touchdowns in each game, there might be his cards will sell better than they would have 3 weeks ago, right? Over a 6 weeks period, there will be an increase in Geno Smith. Is that safe to maintain? No, right? I'm not naive that Geno Smith is come and gone. I mean, he's been in the league for 10 years at this point. He was a rookie in 13. Not a lot of optimism around the Seahawks. I don't think I don't expect the Seahawks to win games. And I think, Ty, your point about if they play that game 50 more times, the Broncos are winning 48, 49 of those games. Like, they're a more talented team. Russell Wilson returns to Seattle. He's getting booed. Like, there's just a lot of emotion there. First game of the year. Do I think the Broncos will figure it out and win more games than the Seahawks? Yes. So I'm not overly optimistic about Geno Smith cards long-term in the hobby. Again, short-term buzz and gain after week 1. Sure. Expect it to maintain over a season. Not sure.
Agreed.
Another question from Sean. Any speculation to how expensive Prizm World Cup soccer will be? In follow-up, how much does the fact that Mbappe signed a deal with Panini and will have autos in that set increase what could already be a very expensive box?
So 2014 is like $6,000 a box. 2018 is like 3,500 a box, I think, maybe 4K. I would anticipate this year being somewhere in between those two.
Wow, that would absolutely surprise me. I know.
Doesn't it have Mbappe autos in it?
Yeah, but NT. So just for a record, National Treasures Road to the World Cup, which has Mbappe autos in it, confirmed, is pre-selling at 4,000 a box.
Oh, okay. So I take it all back then.
So I would imagine at this point, if I haven't seen any, I would expect somewhere in the 1,400 to 1,700 a box range.
You're saying like initial.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
really
Okay,
say
fine.
somewhere between $14.99 makes the most sense in my head.
I love that set. Do we have the release date locked in on it yet?
My understanding is it got moved. I will triple check that. Are you talking about Prizm or let's see here. You talking about Prizm's, Ty?
Yeah, that's the one that the question
It's not on the current release calendar I have. Mosaic World Cup Soccer is October 5th, and National Treasures World Cup Soccer is now October 19th.
Got it. So the Prism's probably even maybe past that, but I'm definitely cracking open some of those.
Couple NT soccer.
No, a couple Prizm World Cup.
I'll take the NT.
Love that set. Listen, I will not take the NT.
All right.
Those Mbappe NTs are going to be sweet.
Yeah, I think that's gonna have a lot of hype around it. Mbappe's first autos with Panini, a game used patch auto from a high end brand like that could do really well. And it sounds like there's an Eminence product. I've been hearing that Eminence Soccer could be making a return by the end of the year. And if that has Mbappe game used stuff on top of some of these other big names, that could be wild. So
are we gonna go? Are we gonna go from no Mbappe autos to like too many Mbappe autos?
Somebody said, yeah. I posted that on Slapstocks. Asked about that, and I think that was one of my big points on there.
So classic.
If these stay short printed and low, just they don't make a ton of them, Mbappe stuff could just be all time huge in the hobby. If you've got 60 different variation autos and every single product and Mosaic and Prizm and Eminence and NT and they make all these other brands and he's in every single one of them and just signs like crazy, it could
he should
get weird.
He should have a rule. He should have a rule that all of his autos are of 7. Just like he's just always jersey numbered at all times.
I love the idea of 25, like no more than 25 autos, like just kind of like the Lewis Chrome, right? I think Lewis's autos at like 52, 58, 56, something like that, right? And then you got an orange at a 25, you got a red at a 5, and you got the 101, and you got 4 plates. Like that's less than 100 autos.
Keep it simple.
Right? No more than like 200 autos a year from this guy. A couple in Eminence, few in NT, few in Prizm, couple in Mosaic. And let's just call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next year. All right, Jay says we have a ton of plays, so we need to get into play of the week. We're running out of time here, so let's jump over to play of the week. See what we got. All right, Jay, shout out to Jay, says we got very little time, and first one is a book here.
That's not his fault. That's your fault for taking so long to get to it. Gotcha, Jay.
Sports card collector
Chronicles. I like that. Formerly New York State of Mind 1976.
Says play of the week sub. He apologizes for the length early. Love that.
It's a good job.
Set up at a local card show in a deal presented where I paid $335 for Chronicles Trey Lance rookie auto at 25, 2 bronze Cade Cunninghams, a Jalen Green silver, and a Grimes blue out of 99, all from Crown Royal, plus an Aaron Jones auto out of 25 for limited. I know the room, so I moved the Cade cards for 40 each. Jalen for 15 and Grimes for 25 to another dealer friend who collects them. And the Aaron Jones sold very quickly at 40. I used 100 of those sales to buy a select John Morant PSA 10, Mosaic Jerry Jeudy second-year auto, and a Cole Anthony silver auto. I gave away the John Morant to a super nice kid who is a big Jaw fan. His family can't afford a card like that, so they lost their minds. That is why I do it. I keep the Cole for my PC and the Jeudy I sell for 35. So all in all, after the buys and sales, I'm into the trade for about 240. Put it up on eBay as I buy it now and sold for, it looks like $529.87 as the screenshot. So I have a total profit of $210 after fees, a Cole Anthony auto for the PC, and a gift to John Morant to a kid that will remember that day for a long time.
I like that you knew the room.
Yeah, I mean it's a good play. Jerry Jeudy gifted a kid, Cole Anthony for the old PC, knew the room. Trey Lance auto at 529 for Crown Royal seems wild.
That's what I'm sitting here trying to figure out. It's also Crown Royal. I feel like people like Crown Royal.
So Crown Royal basketball is a standalone set. Crown Royal in this aspect is a Chronicles product.
Oh, interesting.
So he got the Crown Royal basketball as a standalone. Those are standalones from actual Crown. That's a full set in basketball. This Trey Lance at a 25 is from Chronicles. It's not a full set in football. So good play.
Got it.
Jay?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, wow. This could be big. Oh, my gosh. K-Man the Caveman cards. So all this card listed for sale this morning on my slabs. It's a numbered track tag, and they never come up for sale, let alone a red at this price. Bought it full ask for $4.99 because I didn't want anyone to click it before me. Listed on eBay on the afternoon at $2,500 oboe to see if I got any decent offers. Well, within a few hours of listing, someone clicked it at full price. Sold for $2,000 more in less than 12 hours. It's an Antonio Giovinazzi track tag red at a 5 PSA 8 from first year Chrome. Those are super, super, super popular, especially the numbered ones. Those always sell very well, way more than you would typically expect. I mean, Giovinazzi PSA 8 at a $5 to $2,500. That tells you how popular these are.
Crazy.
That's insanity.
Wow. That's a play. That's a play. Because
Just smart.
that's having knowledge. That's seeing it and executing. That's knowing the game.
Yeah, I wonder if this person made a mistake.
They did. They did for sure. They did for sure. But
Yeah.
they didn't. But I don't think they. I think they did. I don't even see it as a mistake, as I see it as more so like almost just lazy, and they didn't put in the work needed to
Again, like we talk about this all the time, though. It's not necessarily a lazy thing. You can't know every card.
That's more, I guess,
what makes play of the week fun. Like, if you don't know F1, you don't know F1. Like somebody could have got this in a deal for $100 and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna put up for 500. I'll try to make 300."
They might even watch the most recent episode and not even know Giovinazzi and
Giovinazzi.
Get him out of here.
All right, we're running out of time. Let's get to the next one.
Keep going.
All right, LA Card Guy says, Jay, run this play of the week sub, my guy. Jay already getting, deals here.
What did you backdoor Jay?
Last September, I traded into a BGS 99 Mookie Betts Bowman Sterling die cut auto at a 30 blue refractor at Burbank. Shout out to Ryan Veras for the smooth trade. Coming off a championship year and considering the length of Mookie's contract, I felt this card was a solid pickup considering it had a lot of bells and whistles. A little after the MLB season started, I listed it on eBay for $10.50. No bites. While I was attending the Burbank card show, I came across another Mookie Sterling at a $199 that was priced at $600, which made me feel I was undervaluing mine since it was at a 30. Well, just a few days after the Burbank show, I received an offer for $800, which wasn't bad, but reminded me that the card was still listed too low. I took a chance and declined the offer and updated the listing to $19.50 or best offer. Within 25 minutes of the first offer, I received another offer for $1,200, which I then accepted. Shout out to Card Talk, because one major lesson you three have talked about is trusting your gut, and I felt this deal is a great example of that.
Gotta trust the gut. The gut is where it all.
Let's not get crazy on trust the gut here, brother.
I trust the gut. I trust the gut all the time.
Trusting the gut and acting on the gut is a different muscle.
Agreed.
All right, next one. Man, 479
I like
cards.
The gut.
Shout out Vayner Sports.
Says, here's my submission for play of the week. Went to a small local trade night, about 10 people on August 25th. After looking through some cases and going through some raw cards, I noticed a 2020 Bowman Megabox Black 101 O'Neal Cruz caught my eye. Coming back from the National, I happened to stop in Pittsburgh and saw him in action and have not seen a player with that much pop in a while, and I knew I wanted to see if I could make a play on it. After going back and forth on some trade offers, I felt like we were too far apart. I asked about a cash value, and he mentions he wants $400. Countered at $360 and got the card. Flash forward all the way to September 6th. I got an offer on eBay for $1,375, happily accepted, clearing $1,185 after shipping and fees for a profit of $825.
So this is a 1-1. Jay said, how's a 1-1 of one of the top prospects in baseball? Only $400. It's a great question. Little known fact about O'Neal Cruz: 2016 Bowman is his Bowman first, and his name is spelled incorrectly on that card.
Very cool.
It's spelled like Oneal instead of IL. I don't know if it was wrong or he changed it or whatever, but it's one of those funny little things that happens in cards. But I like to play.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I've seen highlights of this kid. Isn't he humongous?
He throws the ball like 100 miles an hour.
Shortstop.
And hits bombs.
Yeah. I think he hit like the fastest ball ever recorded.
Yes. And he does it like all the time. Like every other day, it's like O'Neal Cruz broke a record.
So how many years, Lou, until he's a Yankee or a Dodger or a Red Sox?
I don't know, because that doesn't really happen in baseball anymore. A lot of these guys are staying home. The Pirates don't really spend money, so that's a different conversation. But he probably has another 4 years until he's on another team. 4 or 5 years.
Seems like a while for a guy this good. Seems like
well, that's how it goes with baseball, because you have the control for 6 years when you get up.
All right, next play. Oh, man. First Alcaraz. Despite Ryan saying he would pay only $250 for an Alcaraz auto, I decided to buy one for $750. After reaching the final of the U.S. Open, I sold it for $3,000. Great
Pretty
flip
simple, boys and
in a
girls.
2-week span. As a tennis and pickleball player, it was awesome to see the market increase in such a short amount of time. I know my boy Ty is a believer in the tennis market. A believer, but not a buyer.
It's a great play, and we're a pro Alcaraz podcast. We love Carlos Alcaraz here. We got to do something about that auto, though. I'm just gonna call it how I see it. We got to do something about that little C with a little
with the A at the top. It's a little CA. It's a little
Can I get like an R at least? 3 letters?
I think the auto's fired too. It's just a little. Listen, I felt good all week because I know people picked up on this man. Now, as a tennis and pickleball player, maybe King Cards 20 didn't pick up, but I slept great at night knowing a lot of people learned about this man through this show, and it was all right there. The play was right there for anyone. Obviously, he could have lost 4 rounds early. He was in 3 5-set matches in a row before he got to the finals. So, like, if he takes an L in the quarters, it's a whole different story that we're talking about here. He stepped up. He made the play, the moment, the timing with the cards. Obviously, they did the release for a reason at the time. So, yeah, I'm happy when I see these things. I really don't have much. I don't have as much animosity here as I do on a lot of the NFT misses over the years when the market was going absolutely ballistically insane. These things are fun. I definitely want to collect one at one point. But we've seen a lot of hype. Something happens in the immediate and then things settle back down. So that's also, a very likely case of what will happen here.
What do you have to do to maintain that price?
Keep winning. And even so, even if you do keep winning, so like there's heat in markets. We all know that. Things happen and then things cool down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, $750.
But he could win the next 2 majors and there will be a lot more heat and chatter than than there will.
Is it a triple crown? Do they call it a triple crown in
the Grand Slam?
Grand Slam.
Yeah. Right. Winning matters, right? Winning it'll mean something. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, next play. Golden Dot Sports Cards. Play of the week submission. Bought a Carson Wentz Prizm Camo out of 25 PSA 10 in February after Indy had given up on him. Offered $300 and the buyer immediately accepted. I knew it would take time and luck. Throughout the summer, I turned down similar $300 offers. NFL season is here, and I sold it for $11.75, full asking price during his Commanders Week 1 debut, throwing 4 touchdowns. Total profit after fees, $725.61. Insane.
It's a great job. You want to talk about 98% high risk assets? Carson Wentz is probably as high risk as it gets in the NFL.
That is facts.
Oh,
good for you, Golden. That's a play.
He grinded out to a tie, right?
Grinded it out. I wonder what the highest selling card after their team finishes in a tie is. This has to be high on the list.
Camo Prizm is hot. Camo Prizm's hot.
That's true.
They tied?
Did they not tie?
No, they won. They beat the
Jags.
Jags.
You're thinking about the Colts. That's what
Colts and Colts and Texans tied. They beat the Jags.
This brain is like not good sometimes.
All right, next play. Double cards says, I recently bought this Cade Cunningham Donruss Teal Laser at my LCS. They had it for $35, and I noticed it was under comps by about $15 to $25. I asked them if they were firm. They told me they can work with me. I ended up buying about 15 card singles lot from them, and overall got about a 15% discount on most of the singles, making this around $30. I slipped into SGC through Nash Cards to get a cheaper price at about $23 a card, and after a couple weeks, it got an SGC 10. It had a pop of 19, but no sold comps. I've posted on Facebook for $175, and that someone offered $165. Gladly accepted the offer. After shipping, PayPal fees, grading costs, and card price, I netted a profit of about $100, resulting to a 202% return within 7 weeks.
As I'm sitting here listening to this, I'm seeing Teal Laser, and it's just like, this is a great play. It's a good job. This is how you're supposed to do it, right? Teal Laser, what is that out of? Is it out of anything? Is it just another parallel?
Yeah, it's like a short print.
How many parallels of Cade Cunningham are we going to have?
I think that's a retail parallel.
Just a lot of parallels. Good job, though. 165 all day. We'll take that.
Yep. Flip it and move on. Invest it in something. Invest it into something that's a little bit more secure.
That's right. That is correct.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Love the raw play at the LCS.
Mhm.
Grade it, flip it. Yep, these aren't these plays are out there. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and a little bit of money.
That's right.
All right, next play, Jay. Is that it?
I think we have one more. Oh, no,
Nope,
that's
that's it.
Wow, this is a good week.
This is a proper week.
Giovinazzi.
You think Giovinazzi's the winner, huh?
Yeah, that track tag's a big thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, Giovinazzi.
I
There's a lot
kind
of
of think it should be Alcaraz just because it's right in our mouth, right?
I'm
But
Alcaraz. I'm on Alcaraz. So
I think
that's-
Alcaraz is the right pick because we need to own the fact that I stand firm that the price is too high, but like,
Agreed.
but doesn't matter.
I would have
that
bought one if they were cheaper.
but the market decided that we were wrong, and that's how it goes.
Facts. Very true. We don't
So we
decide
gotta
the
eat
price.
your
The
L's.
market decides the price.
And it's a great play. He was like, I heard your advice, and I was like, they are dead wrong, and I did it anyway. Good job by Alcaraz. Good job by Connor. Shout out to Connor.
Alcaraz
Play of the week
continues
winner.
to win.
What a week for Carlos Alcaraz.
King
huh? US
cards.
Open,
Let's
play of the
go.
week.
Big Carlos Alcaraz week.
We love it. We love it.
Carlitos.
All
I
right,
think this is a good episode.
real quick.
I
Real
agree.
quick. Little latest launch.
Yep.
Anything interesting?
Yes, and I know what it is. I'm just gonna pull it up just to confirm.
What is it?
Give me 2 seconds.
What is it?
What is it?
Tops UEFA Champions League Merlin Chrome Soccer.
I like
Right?
Merlin.
Immaculate Baseball. Tops Chrome Baseball Hobby and Jumbo. Little Wander Franco. But the big one, Skybox Metal Universe Champions.
Oh, baby.
Zach Wilson PMG time for my man Lou.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we talk about this last week? Or were we saying it was coming this week?
It was coming this week. Comes out
Got
this week.
it.
How much are the boxes?
I heard they're pre-selling at like 12 to 1500.
I kind of want one.
I think that'll fall. That seems outrageous.
That seems like a lot. I was talking to somebody over the weekend. Actually, it was yesterday, just about like the price of cards. They were trying to buy cards for their kid, and they were like, "I don't know what to buy because everything costs so much money." And I was like, "You
Yeah,
got to
it
switch
is.
to blasters or megas, and you just don't get as many cards, which is unfortunate."
Yeah.
It is unfortunate.
Buy in bulk, flip, do the work, learn it, right? Slow grind to learn and understand what sells, what people want, what doesn't sell, understand the game, right? Do that and then take that money to buy other things, right? Take money off the table every now and then, enjoy it, splurge on a hobby box, learn, understand the value is in the process.
That's right.
So, all right.
I think that to your point, Rye, like being part of the hobby versus just buying boxes and ripping them open is the more work, but actually far more enjoyable.
And a bigger asset.
Correct.
You learn more that way.
Correct.
right.
Otherwise, you just learn how to gamble.
Gotta run.
Peace.
Peace,
Peace,
love.
guys.